What's up, YouTubers? Rich from 2RC Productions here, and we got a dual unboxing today for you. Dual unboxing, something we've never done before. So, the first boat up here is the... What is it, Rye?
It's the ProBoat Impulse 9.
Right, and tell them the story about it, Rye.
Well, I really wanted this boat, so I wanted to use my money because I was saving my money. So then I went to buy this thing, and there was only one left. One left, that's it. So I was so excited I brought it, and I can't wait to unbox it.
Alright, Rye. So we got the ProBoat Impulse 9, which is the brother to the Blackjack 9, which you guys know I had a video a couple weeks ago, and I had ordered the parts for it. They had everything except the ESC. They didn't have it local in Illinois here. It was in a California warehouse, and they said, oh, well, we could special order it or just wait till one comes in. And I said, yeah, no hurry. Whenever you get it, I told them to call me, and it's been a couple weeks, so I'm kind of anxious. I'm probably going to have to give them a call again and see what's happening with that because I want to get my Blackjack going. But anyway, this video is to center on the Impulse 9 and the ProBoat React 9, which is a new release. And there's some major differences in these two boats in features and in price. So we're going to go ahead here, take a look at this ProBoat. You can see the box. It's a ready to run. It's a 2.4 gigahertz. It comes with a nickel metal hydride battery, 7.2 volt. The React is a ready to run as well, 2.4 gigahertz. Comes with a lithium ion battery, and they both have 180 motors, can motors, brush motors, but the lithium ion gets this thing a little more boost, so it's a little bit faster. Now it's cheaper. This is $69.99 and this is $89.99, so there's a substantial difference there. And this doesn't have a self-righting feature. If it flips over, you have to flip it back over. They both have reverse. I know this one has reverse, and I want to double check on the React, but I'm sure that has reverse as well. It has a self-righting feature. They both are water cooled. They have a little pickup tube that sends the water through to cool the motor. So very similar. Really the only differences that I see is the ProBoat Impulse, you know, is modeled after their bigger boats. They have an Impulse, a couple different size Impulse, 17 and then I believe a 24 or 27, and you cannot beat the styling. I mean, the styling and the paint scheme is just second to none, and the React is a little more basic. It's kind of just a white plastic with a couple blue decals React, so they skimped a little bit. And I also think this is one of those spin-offs. There's a few other different boats out there that carry the same type of features and same basic design, so I'm almost thinking that ProBoat is their exclusive design, and the React is kind of a spin-off of some different China companies that share a lot of the same design, but obviously it has ProBoat electronics. So we're going to break away and unbox the Impulse 9 and the React 9 and do a little comparison. All right, we're all unboxed here, and this is the ProBoat Impulse 9, and I want to start off by saying it's a $90 boat, but the quality on this unit is second to none. Like I said, this boat is phenomenal. I mean, the paint scheme, the quality of the build, the hardware. It's got stainless steel trim tabs, real heavy rudder. It's got the breakaway rudder. It's the black heavy plastic prop. We know that the canopy holds well because the Blackjack, spin this little thing off there, you pull that canopy off, you can see the stuff. It's pretty tight in there. The battery, the ESC is tucked in there very tight. There's not a lot of room. But this hull, at least on the Blackjack, doesn't take on any water. I mean, it's a fantastic design. You guys know that I burned up the motor and the ESC wires pulled out in the first season, and I burned up the motor on my Blackjack, which was disappointing. But the handling of it and the fact that it doesn't take on any water and the overall finish of the thing and the quality itself, I mean, it seems like it's a quality built unit. We're going to do a break-in on this motor. I didn't break in my Blackjack, and I'm hoping that takes care of the issue. It's got an all-in-one receiver ESC. If that burns out, it's $20. I ordered that. like I said. So Impulse 9 comes with the nickel metal hydride, 260 milliamp 7.2 nickel metal hydride battery. Comes with the 4 AA batteries for the controller. Comes with a Peak wall charger, which is a crummy wall charger. It takes forever. It'll work, but it takes way too long. We'll just use our Peak charger for that. Comes with a nice manual, and you'll see the differences between these two in the comparison. I mean, it's a full-size manual, real nice, thick. It covers the Impulse and the Blackjack 9. It's a really large, easy-to-read manual. Got all the info in there. So, 2.4 gigahertz Pro Boat radio, standard ECX Pro Boat Horizon Hobby issue. Same radio for the ECX vehicles, 110th, 118th. Radio works fantastic. There's nothing really I could say bad about the radio. It's got an awesome grip. It's got your trim and steering, your steering and throttle trim. It's got your throttle dual rate, steering dual rate, servo reversing, on-off switch. Real nice, comfortable grip, comfortable in the hand. It's lightweight. Never had one glitch out of all of them. We have quite a few of these radios and never had a problem with it. So that's what you get in the box there, $89.99. Now we're going to get on to the React. Now the React, less money, like I said, $20 cheaper. And at first I'm wondering, why is it $20 cheaper? Well, there's something going on. I actually talked to 2KRC Backroads this week. He put up a video of the UDI, I believe it's 001 Venom Racing Boat, it's called. And you can buy it on Amazon. I think the company was called USA Toys or something, and you can get them for like $42 with free shipping. But I was ready to buy that boat, I really was. And then I noticed that this is exactly the same controller. It's a different design. It's got Pro Boat label on there, foam grip. It's a digital radio, so you know when you're doing your trim, it'll beep 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 as you hit the arrow button. It's not analog like the ECX radio or Pro Boat radio. This is the same radio that UDI carries. I mean, it's the same basic design. It's a direct rip-off, or they ripped it off of Pro Boat. I don't know. But, I mean, it's a comfortable radio. It's got a foam grip. Spring action's good. I like the styling of it. It looks cool. So the radio looks good. If it works good, I'm fine with that. Comes with a boat stand. Just like the one that's under it now is the one for the Impulse. And the Blackjack, I borrowed it for now because I didn't have this built. But this is one you have to put together, plastic stand. Comes with an extra prop in there, which is cool. The Impulse has nothing extra. I didn't see any extra prop in there, no extra parts. AA batteries for the radio. Also comes with AA batteries. Nice extra add-on. The React manual, a lot smaller and chintzier than the Impulse. Has what you need in there, but very small. You know, they're trying to find ways, obviously, to cut cost. And if they cut it in the literature, as long as it has the information, I could care less. Battery. This is where it's different here now. We got a 1S 3.7 volt, so it's a one cell, 650 milliamp. It's a lithium ion battery. This charges off of the USB charger, which is right here. I'm not a big fan of these USB chargers. I'm not a big LiPo guy. I have all nickel metal hydride batteries for my bigger stuff. And the only LiPos I have are for the flying machines, the quads, the little helicopters, and boats like this. And I have a ton of these one cell LiPos. And what I have to invest in, what I don't have now, is I don't have a balance charger that goes from one cell up. You know, I need probably a 1 to 5 cell or 1 to 6 cell, whatever, LiPo battery charger that I can turn the rate down to 1 cell to charge all these little batteries I have, because these USB chargers are just, I'm not a fan of them, and they take forever to charge. It'll probably take an hour, 45 minutes to charge this thing. So the styling of the boat is really cool. It looks nice. It nothing fancy, like I said. It's just white plastic basically with some blue decals on it. I see it's got a little tab there that you flip that. I'm not sure how this, okay, the whole canopy comes off, pulls out of there. It's got a rubber gasket around, which is good, like the Impulse. The electronics, it's got an all-in-one receiver ESC, but it's completely different setup than the Impulse and the Blackjack. The servo looks different. The ESC is different. It's got the 180 size motor in it with the water cooling, heat sink on it with the tube that passes the water through and spits it out. This one's a little easier to get to the motor. The other one is buried pretty tight up in the front of the hull, which is going to make it difficult to change on that one. So very similar. This boat is definitely going to be faster because it's got the lithium ion battery. I don't know how it's going to be for sealing up for water. I hope it's good. First off, hardware, definitely cheaper on this boat. You can tell the plastic is way flimsier. It's got the stabilizers here. It's got trim tabs that are non-adjustable. They're that plastic. They're not stainless. The Impulse has the trim tabs that are stainless. You can actually bend them to affect the ride height of that thing, how it trims out the boat itself. Cheaper plastic for the prop, cheaper plastic for the rudder, cheaper for the trim tabs. You know, I can understand they're trying to save a few bucks, but we're buying these for the pool. So it doesn't have to have anything real beefy just to blast around the pool. But first problem, which I did not like right off the bat, this piece was laying somewhere in the bottom of the box, this stabilizer piece. So the other one's intact. This one's laying there. I'm like, oh, what's this for? And I realize on the boat it's missing. Well, there's a screw, a Phillips head screw that's supposed to go in there and hold that thing on. It's nowhere to be found. So I pop it back on the boat. I'm like, okay, there's where it goes. It fits in here. So I can get back on there. Fits in there, snaps on there, but I don't have a screw. There's nothing in the box, so now I'm going to have to go through my stuff. Luckily, I have a bunch of hardware in that, and I'll have to thread a screw in there that'll hold that thing on. But to the person that doesn't have any extra parts, now you're kind of out of luck that you don't have a screw in there and the piece is hanging. Why is it hanging? Where's the QC department? I don't know. Not a big deal, but nonetheless a little aggravating. When you drop some money, all that stuff should be put together. So that's pretty much it for the unboxing and first look. We're going to run these later today, and we'll give you a couple minute shot of the running in the pool. Like I said, I got an above ground 21 round pool, and these little tiny boats are an absolute blast in there. They have enough speed to keep you entertained, not enough speed to where you can't control it in a small area, but very, very fun. So we just expanded our boat collection by 2 today. Our only other small boat we have is the Blackjack, and now we have the Impulse 9 and the React 9. So till next time, Rich from 2RC Productions here, signing out. Ryan.
See you, YouTubers. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and comment in no particular order. And we like to see those thumbs up on the videos. Give us a thumbs up, guys. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the boats. And that's it. Hey, YouTubers, one last thing I wanted to mention. I almost forgot to tell you. I want to do comparisons and differences here between the two boats. And the one I said was self-righting. The other one is not. The Impulse is not. If it flips over, it does not flip over by itself. I mentioned that. But I wanted to mention the React does have that. If you flip it upside down, you crank the steering wheel back and forth. I'm pretty sure, I didn't read the manual yet, but I'm pretty sure it's either you crank this back and forth or you crack the throttle, it'll roll back over and go. The second thing is, the new thing they're introducing with all these boats is the safety feature for the prop, so you don't get your fingers caught in them. The prop will not kick on until it's in the water. There's a sensor in there that tells it that it's in the water, and then the prop will work. So don't start this boat up and turn the power on. Actually, there is no power on this. I believe you just turn the radio on, and the sensor is what turns it on. It'll beep beep when it goes in the water and tell you it's good. So don't turn it on and hit the trigger and then think your boat is defective and then bring it back to the hobby shop or call the manufacturer, because it will not run unless the prop is in, or unless the boat is in the water. The Blackjack and the Impulse, you could start them right up on the stand and run them on the stand, and they'll run. They don't have that sensor. And I believe they are going to, it seems like they're coming out with this new line of boats and they're going to be phasing out these two. This is what I see. I would almost guarantee that they're going to phase these out within the next year or so, and you won't be able to get them. And they're kind of turned into this style boat here. So that's it. Little add on there. I wanted to make sure I let you guys know.
Eyes and body see through. Time flies.
Alright guys, final thoughts here. We ran a couple batteries through here and kind of show you what I found and what I did a few tweaks. The Impulse, start with the Impulse, $20 more than the React. So I wanted to see, I already know how the Blackjack was. I wanted to see if this was a superior boat in my opinion to the React, or if it was better a little bit or worse by a lot. So here is my thoughts on this. The Pro Boat is definitely a better, more stable, better built boat, I would say. It's much quieter, it's smoother. Its only downside, and the Blackjack has a little bit of this going on too, but not as bad as this one. It has some major cavitation issues when you first crack it. If you just hit the throttle full speed, it'll just it'll sit there and you know, cavitate, basically catch air. It won't go anywhere. You have to ease into the throttle and get it going, and then once you get it going, you can hold it steady and then put your, you know, put the hammer down all the way, no problems. How I did get rid of a lot of that was adjusting the stainless trim tabs. They're very useful, up or down, to get the nose of the, you know, boat down or up, whatever you need, so it planes out nice. Basically, yeah, trim tab adjustments. Like I said, the rudder and all the hardware is definitely more heavier duty on this. This runs on a nickel metal hydride battery, so it's a lot slower than the React, which you saw in the video. I mean, the React is extremely fast, like insane fast, almost for the 21 round. Small pond straightaways, that thing would really get moving. It doesn't turn as good under medium throttle, the React. If you have it full speed, it'll cut hard. I actually messed with the stabilizers. I had the stabilizers on, I took the stabilizers off, and it'll turn hard on a dime, but not out of the box. You can get it to turn pretty sharp if you had a full throttle and you're cranking it. It'll lean up on its side and turn because the, you know, it's got such a deep V hull. But if you wanted to just cruise medium speed and try to turn, it took almost the whole diameter of the pool to get that thing around. And I'll explain to you in a minute what I did there. But the Pro Boat, definitely an awesome machine. I know they had problems with the ESC. I had mine wires come loose. I've heard other people complain about it. I had the motor go out, but I drove it quite a bit that one summer, and I still like the boat a lot. So getting on to the React, new release, not much out there, not much information on this yet, so I'm going to give you my take on this. The turning radius on it was horrendous, so what I had to do right away was I dismantled it. I took the servo out and I changed the position of the rod and the servo horn and put it to the top, and then I bent the rod a little bit because it was rubbing on the frame or the hull of the boat. So I tweaked that a little bit, and I got a lot more turning radius out of it. I messed with, I told you the screw was missing. I put a screw in here. I had these on, had them off. The other thing is I wasn't noticing any water coming out of the intake for cooling the motor. And the motor, the first run, was extremely hot. It was really hot. I'm like, oh man. I mean, these brush motors, you know, they're pumping a LiPo battery to it. It's a 1-cell, but still, they're putting a lot more power to it, a lot more punch than the nickel metal hydride, which causes this motor to run. I mean, this thing is screaming. You saw it in the pool. So the motor was extremely hot. And then I looked underneath, and I noticed that the pickup tube hole itself, you can see it right here, was microscopic, and I didn't see any water coming out. So what I did was I carefully took a couple of twist drill bits, and I stepped the hole up by hand. Careful not to wipe out this deflector here that routes the water in. But I opened it up enough to let some adamant flow, or enough flow to get in there. Not adamant, amount. I wanted a decent amount of flow to get in there. So I opened that hole up. It was tiny. And now you can see in the tube, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but you can see the inside of the tube is all wet. Before it was not. And these motors are prone to heat, and they're going to burn out if they get too hot. So they have this little heat sink on there, which in my opinion probably doesn't do too much. It's metal, it sits on there, it's going to extract some of the heat. And obviously if it has any chance of working, it needs some serious water flow. So I took care of that. What else? Yeah, took those off, changed the angle of the rudder. And that was pretty much it. And we ran a couple times, and the boat ran really good. I took on a lot of water the second run, and I went backwards a couple times and kind of sunk the boat. So I don't know if that's the reason, or because I had these tabs off. But I don't see holes going through the hull. The screw kind of stopped short is what I thought, but there's a possibility this one over here you can't see in the hull. Maybe there was water getting in there, but I actually backed up a couple times. And the thing with this is it doesn't have easy throttle in reverse. The Impulse, you can kick the throttle in reverse and it goes back real slow. This thing is like all or nothing. And then it actually pulled the boat underneath the water, and it had quite a bit of water in it. I shook it out, but it didn't seem to affect the runnability. But again, when you're introducing water with electronics and metal parts, I'm going to spray up the motor real well, oil it, and do the same thing on Ryan's. So this boat is extremely quick, man, for what it is. I mean, it runs good. $69 I think is a decent price. I was talking about the UDI, ordering that one. I was actually going to order that this week from Amazon. The only downside about ordering from Amazon is you got to wait. You know, it's coming from China. Might take a week, might take 2 weeks. If you need parts, you know, pretty much have to buy parts from something else and modify it, because by the time you get parts. So I kind of saw this, and I know I overpaid a little bit, you know, $20 more than, say, the UDI boat. But it's a pro boat. It's Horizon Hobby. If I have any issues, any part problems, I call and order the parts. So there's my outlook on the pro boat Impulse 9, which has been out for a long time, and I think that it's probably on the way out. I don't think it's going to be around too much longer. And the React 9, which is a new release, and basically the same style boat, little pull runner, 9 inches, but they kick it with a LiPo, which gives you a lot more power, a lot more speed. A little bit too much, like I said, for a 21 round pull. I mean, it's fine if you're half to 3/4 throttle, but if you want to go full throttle, it's insane. They both have the rubber gaskets, like I said, did a pretty good job keeping the water out. So the radio itself, I want to cover this real quick on the React, because this is a new style radio. This radio is excellent, man. I love the feel of it. I love the look of it, the style. Whether it's Horizon Hobby's own design, or if they stole it from someone else, or someone stole it from them, I don't know. But it's a really cool, comfortable radio that works well. The sensor worked fine on this, where you have to put it in the water. It's a little annoying because I like to test my stuff, and you cannot test it unless you like put it in a little bowl of water or something. It will not turn on. Oh, the other thing I want to mention is the self-righting option did not work. I flipped it upside down and I sat there and hit the throttle, hit the throttle. They say crack the throttle, hit the hit the throttle, hit the brake, hit the throttle, hit the brake, and it's supposed to whip itself over, and it did not work. So be aware of that. Maybe other people have had it and it works, but it did not work for me. So keep that in mind if you're in a pond or a lake and you think you're going to be able to flip it. Runtime on the React, shorter than the Impulse, which you would expect because it's putting out a lot more juice and, you know, running faster. Battery's not going to last as long. I'm guessing maybe 6-8 minutes on the runtime. The Impulse, Ryan was running longer than me. He probably was another 4 or 5 minutes after me before the battery died. That's a nickel metal hydride. I'm set up with a ton of those chargers. 1 amp rate, that battery's charged in about 6-8 minutes. You're ready to go again. This one, I have the USB charger, like I said. It was all of an hour to charge that thing. It was insane. Way too long to charge this for the amount of runtime. So what I'm going to have to do, and you know, for people that are buying this and have nothing else, you're going to be sitting and waiting. And the same thing with this if you don't have a quick charger. I'm definitely going to have to get a LiPo balancing charger for these small batteries and get myself going on that, because this time frame for charging is just absolutely insane. So there's the video. I know it's pretty long because we had the unboxing overview, the run, and now the final thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the video. There'll be many more videos to come from 2RC Productions. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.